Welcome to Society and Pop Culture 101. I am instructor BK,
I am instructor Novcaine.
and we're about to get into this episode because today we are talking about South Park.
Woo!
And it's a very specific episode. It's season 26, episode 4, Deep Learning. They have been on it for a very long time.
Yes, I didn't even. I mean, when I think about it, they have been out what 98? Yeah, it's
1997. We're about to
97.
hit this rundown about it really quick because I got a bit of a rundown. We're gonna talk about them because they have had an amazing run. Amazing,
Yeah, yeah, 26 seasons, bruh.
crazy.
That's
Um,
unheard of.
they're up there with the Simpsons
The
and
Simpsons, Grey's Anatomy,
WWE, Grey's Anatomy.
WWE, Law and Order.
Yo, nothing's running longer than Law and Order. Law and Order got several seasons, several different shows. That's crazy.
That's crazy. It is.
But let's talk about South Park real quick because on this synopsis, they debuted in 1997 with Comedy Central. The show follows Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman. The show became a massive hit and an instant classic, spanning 26 seasons, 6 movies, multiple award nominations, and wins. South Park has become one of the most satirical powerhouses in television history. While poking fun at serious events, religion, celebrities, and politicians, South Park's creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker sprinkling in truths about society and its various contradictions, often placing mirrors on society and dismantling its hypocrisies.
Yes, indeed. And they do it so lovely. I think that's probably why they've been around for 26 seasons.
I don't think there is another show that critiques society quite like they do and as
No,
good as they do.
no.
Even when they have those seasons where it's a little slow, it still be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like guilty pleasure. South Park is the show that I go to sleep to at night when I can't sleep. I just cut on South Park and I watch it. I watch it from season 1 on through, man. It's
That's
just
your comfort show in a
very
sense.
much so. To the
Hmm.
point where I start to notice things that a lot of other people notice, like the aliens that show up in almost every episode, if not every episode, in the background.
They definitely show up every season, at least every season, and they are in the intro of every episode.
Yep, and there are also fan theories and inquiries like surrounding Kenny's death, or
So,
well,
but Kenny back.
Kenny is back. It was right around the Coon and Friends. Oh man, that whole thing. Anyway, right around the Coon and Friends series that they were doing with the superheroes, the Avengers thing they had going on.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
It was revealed that there is a very specific magical reason that Kenny continues to come back. But around what was that, like season 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there, I think
Hmm.
he was definitely replaced by Butters for a while.
Yes, for a while.
It might have
It
been
was
later
that
than that.
early? I was
No,
gonna
no,
say
it
it
was
doesn't
later
sound
than
right.
that.
It probably was like 10, season 10 or
Yeah,
something.
and
Hmm.
Butters had a great run with the homies,
He
though.
did.
I
He
definitely
did.
enjoyed
We
Butters,
didn't have Kenny for a couple of seasons.
right? But then Kenny came back and started getting real notable,
They gave him
and
a whole storyline. They
yeah,
made Kenny great again.
make Kenny great again. Yo, but do you have any
And
favorite moments?
in South Park altogether,
Yeah.
my favorite moments of South Park are going to get us canceled. So I'm not going to share them on air.
We got to be careful with that. We got to be careful
I'm
with that.
not going to share them while we're recording here. I'm not going to share them on air. But when we get off,
Maybe we'll talk about it in the
there
comments on
are
Tuesday.
there are a lot of great moments though. One of my biggest favorite moments, of course, is the what's the movie called? Bigger, better, crazier, whatever. That one.
Something like that. Bigger, better, stronger.
Bruh, first of all, that movie came out, I want to say 99 or 2000, right? One of
It
those
was,
numbers.
I think it was
2001.
97, 98. It was like
Yeah, one
right.
of them. It was early, right?
Yeah, because they hit the ground running so well, they got that movie
Mhm.
almost
They got that
instantly.
movie. They got that movie, and child, that movie.
That movie was wild.
Shut your freaking face, Uncle Freaker.
Oh man, oh the best song out the entire series though, Cow's Moms a
Cow's
B.
mom. I knew he
That
was gonna
right
say
there.
Cow's mom. I knew he was gonna say Cow's mom. The devil, like them making the devil, bruh, just Satan. Like, who would think of that?
I don't know. Satan and Hitler's relationship. I think
And then they were trying to throw Saddam in there too. Remember that?
I said Hitler. I meant Saddam. You're right. It was Saddam. That was
Yes, it
wild,
was Saddam whole time. It was Saddam.
especially given the current climate at that time with the whole Saddam,
Yes.
all the politically, that was a real wild step.
Then the controversy behind South Park is what really trips me out the most because it's like 26 seasons and they keep on getting away with things. Like, I don't even know if I could say this, but if I can't, cut it out.
Okay.
Cartman used to call, who was it? Kyle, a stupid Jew all the time.
Yes.
All the time. Not one time did they get slammed. Not once. People
On
were like, oh, I don't like this show or anything like that. They never got canceled. They never got moved from a network. You never seen none of them get sued.
no, but I do remember the Allah episode where they couldn't show his face, right? Was it Allah
Who?
in the Muslim faith? You can't show
Allah?
Muhammad.
Like God?
Muhammad.
Oh,
Muhammad.
Muhammad, the
You
prophet.
can't show Muhammad. I'm sorry, I said Allah. You can tell I'm rusty on this. Anyway, it was Muhammad, and they were like the Muslim community was up in arms. I remember the Pokemon one. Everybody was
Oh,
up in arms
I
about
remember
that.
that one.
Um, I will even say I think that's what happened to Joe Camel, like because of the South Park episode and how they linked it to like the Pokemon with the Joe Kamal. And I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying
Oh,
it
wow.
definitely probably played a part.
And I will say in the beginning seasons, especially those first 10 seasons, outrageous. Okay? If you
Yo,
are
for real.
somebody like me that enjoy controversy, dark comedy, and you've never sat and watched South Park, go do it right now. Right
For
now.
real.
Right
Definitely was a show we was not supposed to be watching as kids,
now. That's
as
why
teenagers.
no, I was a legit kid 26 years ago.
You definitely was.
But I didn't start watching South Park. I'm gonna say I was like in the fifth grade the very first time I saw South Park. That's still a kid though. That's still
Yeah, I
very
was
young.
definitely what 12, 13, something like that.
Yeah, I was
Like I was
very
still
young.
switching the camera, the channel over when my dad walked in on South Park, or my mom definitely when my mom walked in. You weren't finna. I
You're
wasn't
not
finna
gonna
get in
catch
trouble
me.
for that.
You're not gonna catch me. I was already skating on thin ice watching The Simpsons.
For real. But even with the way Simpsons are, they still slipped under the radar when it came down to just how what they were getting away with. Because I go back and watch the Simpsons, and now I'm like, yo, this is the OG episodes, So
Especially this first 6 seasons of The Simpsons. I'm a huge The Simpsons fan. I'm a huge
yeah,
Simpsons fan. Them first 6 seasons, some of them episodes they didn't even put on Disney Plus because they just so bad.
right. But I will say, when South Park came out, I was like, Simpsons, who?
Oh no, because it was
No,
saying cuss words.
no, I just enjoyed the satire of it all.
Okay, it was
I was also a
really,
kid.
really crazy. It was way crazier, and
Yeah,
probably because it was kids doing the
I mean
satire.
that was the original end, but I kept watching because I was a person that watched like Saturday Night Live, so I was very aware of what satirical comedy was. So watching South Park do it at that level and the stuff that they were doing, because I watched the news too. So
Mm-hmm,
as
mm-hmm.
even as a younger person, so seeing how they were taking on the political spectrum, how they were taking on religion, and I am religious. We know this. So seeing how they were taking on all that stuff, it was always interesting to me, and I wanted to see what they were going to do next.
Mm, okay.
So the earlier seasons is
Hmm.
very special to me.
I didn't give. I technically never gave up The Simpsons, but I stopped watching it every Sunday when they released the new episodes about 7 years ago.
So you haven't really been paying attention to the Disney Plus stuff.
No, not really. I mean, yeah, no, not really. I had stopped watching the newer episodes about a good 7, 8 years ago. That's almost the same thing with Family Guy too, though. Like I used to
Yeah,
be a huge fan of Family Guy. Like
yeah,
I was what it's some episodes even now, and I watch a Family Guy, and I could still quote it from beginning to the end.
yeah. Family Guy was good in the beginning. I enjoy American Dad more than Family Guy, and I kind of like the Cleveland Show a lot, but that one didn't last too long.
Cleveland Show was hit and miss for me with each
It was hit and
episode,
miss, but it was Black
but
family, so
American
I was
Dad,
I was in there.
oh man,
We can't
that's
get
a
into
whole
all of this.
that's a whole
Look,
nother. Listen, adult cartoons, period. They just it's a whole nother ball game right now. Like right now, whole nother ball game.
for real. So if you have not watched South Park, I'm telling you, get on the Max app, go watch. The amount of stuff that you see on the internet is funny, yes, but the real meat and potatoes of the show is more like the episodes we're gonna talk about. Well, more like the episode we're gonna discuss like right now, which was the deep learning episode in season 26. Because more often or not, when they talk about something, you can tell the difference when they're just joking around and BSing versus when there's a message in the episode.
Hmm.
Kind of like the one with what was the first episode we all really start paying attention to the fact that they be telling truths was the crap. What is the name of Scientology? So when we
Hmm.
first started paying attention to the fact that South Park actually was telling truths, it was the Scientology episode, and that was the episode that Isaac Hay Isaac Hayes left as chef.
Hmm.
I think they also angered Tom Cruise, and I think that was like one of the bigger scandals out of the show. And we're probably definitely because we're both fans, and there's so much stuff there, and it just kind of aligns with our content. So we're probably going to revisit some of these other
Definitely,
episodes in the future. But
and maybe
let's
even future episodes.
right. So let's segue into this episode that we're talking about today, which is the one that's about open AI.
Mm.
Um, at the beginning of this episode, the setup was
First of all, let me. Even though, like I said, I do like South Park. I'm a fan of the show. I'm one of those people that always go in and out with South Park. I did not know that they added this black girl. Like,
yeah, she been there for a while.
and her
I
hair
can't tell you her
actually,
name right now.
and then they drew her hair very nicely. So it's like,
Oh yeah, the hair game on South Park has been amazing here recently in the past few
I'm
seasons.
just like, good job, guys.
I'm almost gonna say ever since they switched over from the construction paper to the computer, it's been pretty smooth.
Mm, okay, that's what it
Um,
is.
so opening of this episode, the setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Bebe, which is the blonde girl in the middle here that's
With the
standing on the
red shirt.
five.
Mm-hmm.
She comes in and she's talking about her boyfriend Clyde and how amazing of a texture he has become. Like my man's was out here spouting straight up Shakespeare almost.
Yeah.
I mean, her text would be like, "Hey, Clyde, I miss you." He's like, "I miss you like the sun and the moon, like the sun misses the moon, and the water misses the flowers and stuff." Like my man's was out here putting it on thick. You know what I'm saying? We could probably learn some stuff from the way Clyde was texting his girl. Like it was crazy.
But was he
Okay,
really though?
we gonna get to that.
Okay. Okay.
So just to see right here, what was your thoughts when you first watched it? I know you laughed through most of this though.
Of course, of course. So the when it was opening and everything, the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, where are they about to go with this episode, right? Because what what are these kids doing? What are these kids up to this time? And
Right?
it was really the reaction from Wendy for me because Baby's like, "Oh, Wendy, what does Stan text you?" And Wendy's like, He doesn't text me. He doesn't text me nothing like this. Like she starts getting insecure and jealous and trying to text Stan and try to figure out what's going on. And I'm just like, girl,
And that's what we found out that every time Stan texts her, it was nothing but thumbs up.
thumbs up.
Like
Just
right here on the screen, we got the text message stream. My man ain't gave a response at all. Like, is your dad doing better? Thumbs up. I'm always here for you. Thumbs up. Hey Stan, is there a time we could talk today? I'm feeling a little insecure about things. Thumbs up. My man is failing at
thumbs
relationships.
up. He's feeling it. He's failing at a relationship right now. And of course, like, and I feel like that's something that happens in real life as well. Like when somebody asks you, oh, what does your boyfriend or your wife or your husband or your girlfriend do for you? Because you're so proud of what your person is doing for you.
Yeah.
so then so then you're like, wait a minute, my person doesn't do none of this for me. And then you're like, so what's going on? What's happening? And it's like, what, they like in the third grade?
Third or fourth grade.
Yeah. So it's like these little kids trying to have grown up adult conversation. Well, technically they might be adults at this point, but
There's
were
a
we
there's a special for that.
were we in the fourth grade at the same time?
You
Anyway,
probably were. You probably were. You probably were.
anyway, anyway. So with her like trying to figure things out, it just really like hit me right then and there in that very moment. I was like, BK, we gotta talk about this.
Hey, well, you came up at first. I was like, I don't know, but after watching the episode, I was like,
I
I
think he
had to
was like,
rewatch
hold
it because
up.
I watched it before, but
Mhm. It
it
probably
was
was
kind of
background
like,
noise.
yeah, it was like it was good. Don't get me wrong, I laughed, but I wasn't really like thinking this could be something. But after watching it a second time, I'm like, well, we got something here. We definitely got to talk about this.
We definitely got to talk about this.
So real quick, let's hit this clip because Stan, my man Stan, was like, okay, I got to do something. So he went to Clyde and was like, yo, Wendy was talking about you text Bebe really greatly. So
You got the clip.
help a brother out.
You got the
Help
clip.
a brother out.
How do you do it? Chat GPT, dude. Chat GPT? Yeah, dude. There's a bunch of apps and programs you can subscribe to that use OpenAI to do all your writing for you. People use them to write poems, write job applications, but what they're really good for is dealing with chicks. Here, check it out. How do you do it?
So
Not dealing with chicks. That's what people use it for the most. What?
he
As a chick
might be on
myself,
to something.
as a chick myself, I feel so bad now. Like, is this happening to me? Is this happening to my girls out there? Like,
I was gonna say maybe we need to start seeing who's Chat GPT and their significant other. Did your significant other all of a sudden get really great with conversations over text messages, but can't hold a conversation
but
at
can't
dinner?
hold a conversation in real life?
You
Red
might
flag.
want to look into this
Red flag.
because we're gonna talk about somebody who didn't know this was happening to them too
Hmm.
later.
Now, he also mentioned poems and job applications. When it comes to a job application, I'm okay with that.
I can see that. I ain't
Not
mad.
not you not me filling out the job application, but like somebody putting the job application together.
Yeah, yeah. If Chat GPT is used for good and sparingly, it's fine. Before we get too deep, can we talk about exactly what open AI and Chat GPT is?
Yes, please. Let's educate the people on what OpenAI and ChatGPT is.
Boom.
The GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, which refers to how ChatGPT processes requests and formulates responses. It is trained with reinforcement learning through human feedback and reward models that rank the best responses. This way, it gets better over time. ChatGPT works through its generative pre trained transformer, which uses specialized algorithms to find patterns within data sequences. The transformer pulls from a significant amount of data to formulate a response. It's a chat bot with a brain.
So basically, every time, like, you know how you're on a banking app or any website and they have those quick responses, but you can obviously tell that it's not a human. That's basically what Chat GPT is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cranked up to 11 and it has its own brain. That's it. That is basically the easiest way to say it. It has a pool of things that it learns from and data across the internet, and then it brings it to you specifically. It gives you the best response that it could come up with this
Right.
ranking system. Let me finish this clip so we can get back
Go
before we
ahead, go
get
ahead, go
off
ahead.
subject again.
All right.
There's tons of ChatGPT apps for your phone. So then I can take whatever latest dumb thing Bebe texted me, I copy it, then I open the GPT app, click respond to, paste her text here, hit right, it just thinks for a second. You would look great with any length of hair, trying a new look could be fun. Copy that into messages and send it off. It's super easy and convenient, and it saves me a ton of time because she texts me so goddamn much. Gee.
His reaction at the end, geez.
James.
So after Stan learns about Chat GPT, of course, you know, as a kid, he has to use it. And while Wendy was at dinner, my man started texting her, and then them texts got good. So she got up from the dinner table and she had to go to the
She had to
room,
take
you
it
know,
all in.
because you know, when you go to the room, you got that's that private time. And now my man out here texting sweet nothings. It got good to him. He got to a point where he was so good at texting that he didn't even have to look. My man was playing video games, eating, sleeping, and just texting her back. That's how smooth Stan was with the copy and pasting of the Chat GPT thing. And we got to get to one of Nova's favorite scenes because after a while, and this is the problem with Chat GTP or anything like it, right? After you start using it so much and you get so good at it, it starts off with the little small things like texting your girlfriend when you don't really feel like talking and or thumbs upping. And it becomes to straight up out cheating in school.
Cartman Space.
So the boys are sitting in class, right?
Cartman, like the freak.
Like, and you see what's crazy is everybody was involved in this. You know, Butters, Cartman, Stan, and Clyde.
Mm-hmm.
All of them was involved in this, and they all got great reports that are usually terrible. Even Mr. Garrison was like, "These 4 kids are in the plus program because they got the best papers out of everybody." And Cartman is obviously like, "Yo, I know that sounded too good to come from you." And what did Cartman do? Calling me into the bathroom so these kids could talk about it.
Hey, that was the move when we was in school.
It was.
We
When you
a
got
little
the
private
powwow.
talk. We
You
meeting
gotta
in the
have the
bathroom.
powwow.
You got to fight. We fighting in the bathroom.
We don't condone violence, but facts are facts.
I'm just saying.
When
The
it was
kid,
time to brawl, if you didn't want nobody to know, it was the mutual understanding. Sometimes it was just
sometimes,
we just want to fight.
yeah.
But in some contexts, it was we got to dispute, we got to hash it out
We gotta
without
hash it
teachers
out.
involved.
So,
So,
so right here, right,
mhm.
Cartman is losing it, right? Like losing it because it's starting to get out. It's starting to spread like a wildfire at this point. You would think that Cartman was the one that discovered ChatGPT or was even second in line. And whole time Butters discovered it.
Butters was like, "Hold up, bro! I was the one that brought it to you, and you told
Exactly. Exactly.
because Cartman on his ain't nobody else supposed to know but us three. Get out of here, sir."
So Clyde couldn't tell anybody. And then you got to think about how that works with anything in the world, right? This is why I always tell people if you don't want certain information to get out, you don't tell nobody.
Look, if I'm trying to hoard it for me, you don't know.
You don't tell nobody, buddy. Nobody about nothing. If you want to keep it to yourself and you don't want it to get out, Write it down. If you need to tell somebody, write it down and put it in the fire.
Facts. Factuals. So after the powwow in the bathroom and the best running joke of the show, which I don't have any video of, but old buddy that just kept coming in the bathroom when they was trying to talk was hilarious, man. That man just had to use the bathroom. So we cut to Mr. Garrison at home, and he's tired of grading all these terrible papers, right?
Yeah.
So he's complaining to his significant other,
Is
Rick.
a trash teacher.
Mr. Garrison is a trash teacher. We know, man. That dude is terrible.
Terrible.
And throughout the series, he done had like what 5 spouses? I want to 4.
That's about right. He done went through some.
He had Mr. Hat. Then I think it was what Mr. Twig.
Hat. Wasn't Mr. Hat just his hand?
Yeah. There's actually an episode. Again, this is why South Park is good, because stuff goes under the radar. Mr. Garrison had a full breakdown, and he had a full re-emerging of who he was, and he was going through something because of how he felt about a situation with his dad. I'm not saying that it was the most serious way, but underlying, that's what was going on.
Wait, didn't Mr. Garrison have a relationship with Satan?
I think he did. So it was Mr. Hat, Mr. Twig, Satan. Was it Gay? Not Gay Al.
Gabe. Who was the
It
dude?
was no, it was Gay Al.
The dude he was dealing with when he was trying to become president, and they had him dressed up like Donald Trump.
That's well, he was with Rick after that, but I think he was also.
But he was with somebody.
His vice president was Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh my God! And the way that they drew Caitlyn Jenner's face.
That was cold. By the way, that was
good
cold.
God.
And he was trans at one point as well. So,
I
anyway,
almost forgot about that. I actually forgot about that part. Mr. Garrison, talk about character development.
Yeah, he probably had the most character development out of everybody for real.
And Kenny.
Yeah, and Kenny. It's Kenny and Mr. Garrison.
That's it.
And Al Gore. We talked about Al Gore a little bit last week. He was also my second favorite South Park.
That's your best friend at this point.
I'm sorry. The Al Gore character is hilarious. But anyway, let's get back to this recap. So Mr. Garrison is at his table, and he's grading all the kids' paper and complaining about how terrible most of the kids' papers are, and except for like 3 or 4 boys. So Rick comes off behind the counter, from cooking, and was like, yo, listen, because Rick understands that these kids is using ChatGPT. He didn't say it, but he implied it. Like, just his verbiage implied it. And he was saying, there's this app called ChatGPT, and this might be what's happening, or you can use that.
No, he didn't say that might be happening. He was saying that if he doesn't feel like grading the papers and he needs more time, then use ChatGPT because it'll help him.
Yes, and then Mr. Garrison also noted how great Rick's texts were and how supportive he's been.
And Rick's like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry. It's just his reaction. Like,
it was his reaction. Yeah, okay.
So Mr. Garrison decides to use ChatGPT to help grade the papers, and now he ain't got to read they stupid papers. He could just put the headline in, it'll generate a dumb sentence, and he can put it on the paper, and he can move on with his life.
Ridiculous.
Anything to add before we move on to the next?
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous and stupid, but it's exactly what I expect the teacher to do.
I was about to just
Mr. Garrison.
I was about to just say that. Think about how many teachers might be using it right now.
I'm gonna say
somebody somewhere using ChatGPT or something like it to help grade papers. I promise you, right now.
I agree. But we just want to make sure we don't do it's every teacher. It's probably like 5 of y'all somewhere.
No, not every teacher.
And y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
Don't be ashamed.
I'm kidding. I rock with the teachers, man. Y'all deserve way more money.
Don't be hello. And I am a huge fan of the work smart, not hard.
Facts. If you use it the right way, I'm good with you.
If you're using the right way, yes, I agree.
All right, so now we come to Wendy and Stan at this restaurant. They said, now I can't remember which restaurant they are, but it's an ice cream restaurant,
Mhm.
and they're on their little date. And mind you, this entire time, Wendy is getting closer to Stan,
All
and
because of the text messages.
yes, and Stan don't know anything he's been sending back. I
Because he
mean,
just
my
been.
man,
I don't even think he's been reading her messages.
I don't think so. Because remember early in the episode, she asked him for a story, and he was like, "I'm gonna write that story." And she was like, "What happened to your story?" And he was like, "Oh," and then he had to hurry up and do it real quick
So
so she can go to sleep.
he not even reading the text messages. He just literally the text messages come in, copy, and then he pasted it into the app. It does his thinking, and then it gives him a reply, and he just posts the reply.
And see, I think this is where the dangers really start to kick in, because now the emotions that she's attached to this AI response, and she's confiding in Stan, and he's sending her messages to Chat GPT. And I'm gonna tell you another reason that is dangerous, by the way, um,
Extremely.
because it records everything you send to it. So now the app is learning how to replicate emotions on a better level than it did beforehand.
Before.
So
It
now the
is.
next person somewhere is now using Wendy's emotions to help another person, or to write a story, or to build a website. So now you got websites that can use these emotions and these feelings and these actions and build a even better algorithm to
Mm-hmm.
hook you into getting or buying whatever it is they
There
need.
it
See how this
is.
works? It's a
There it
problem.
is. There it is.
So in this scene though, Wendy is telling Stan what now?
Open AI is a slippery slope.
Oh yeah, it absolutely
Extremely
is.
slippery slope. But in this scene, Wendy is telling Stan how appreciative she is about how supportive he has been these past few days, ever since she told him, please be more communicative with me. And I just feel like I'm insecure, blah, blah, blah. She's thanking him. Something happened when Wendy was 6. And apparently it happened to Stan too, allegedly, but it didn't really, because it was AI replying to him. Wendy is talking about how it hurt her so bad, but she doesn't feel alone because it happened to Stan too. And then Stan's like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then and then she still goes about, but what about this boating accident in Switzerland? First of all, Stan, when you go to Switzerland,
Right.
second of all, what went down in this text thread for the AI to read? Want to reply, I'm sorry, not read, but want to reply that there was a boating accident in Switzerland.
That's a great question. But it also could speak to how dumb the app could be when it comes down to responding to things. And she's being naive. She's not going to pick up on it.
That's
But
true.
you know who would pick up on it? Your your college professor, when you write that report and they come in here with a boat accident in Switzerland, and you're supposed to be writing about Harriet Tubman. So I'm just
There it
saying
is. There it
that
is.
may have been a nice little way for
To like
Trey.
to trigger her, to let her know, like, hey, trigger something in
Yeah,
her mind, like, hey, this isn't Stan.
it is
Stan has
not.
never told you anything about him going to Switzerland.
Right. And y'all been together since the beginning of the series, or almost the beginning. So you've been with Stan most of his life at this point. But I will say that it is interesting that, like what you just said, it might have been a way for her to realize that Stan has been lying to her. But it's Wendy, who is arguably the smartest person on the show. And she usually picks up on a whole bunch of things.
That's true. She does. That's
And I
very
think
true.
her emotional state right now
Blocked all
is
of that.
causing her to be blind. Again, South Park, writing at 1,000.
That
Is
writing is at 1,000 right there, because that's also something that happens in real life. We allow our emotions to block out so much, so
right.
much. Like sometimes our emotions even take over logical responses, and it's like once you calm down and you bring your emotions down, then you start thinking about the logic, and you're like, oh shit, I done messed up.
Yep. Yep. So you have to be careful with how you respond to things, and you have to pay attention to what you're responding to because you might be missing good details because of your emotional state. That is a nice little tidbit to remember, and I appreciate them for writing that in for us
Yes.
to pick up on the subtext of that.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
Give these people Emmy.
They want some. They want some.
I think they have.
They want
All
to.
right,
They want a few.
so next up, we switch over to back to the school. It's the next day. And as you can see, Clyde just got through delivering one of the best poems about
That's
Bebe.
cringe,
It was super cringe. Eva Carter was like, "You
baby,
gonna get us caught, bruh."
baby. What you maybe? What?
It was so terrible. So then, after he finishes his terrible poem, Mr. Mackey, the school counselor, busted the door and was like, "Yo, listen, it has been brought to our attention that some of our students have been cheating. And now that I think about it, because somebody had to snitch, and there's only four of them that knew, but it was more than four of them that knew. It was five. And you know who snitched? Old
Who?
buddy that was coming in and out the bathroom. Oh, he snitched on
He had to
them.
snitch. He had to
He
snitch.
snitched.
He had to snitch
He
because
snitched.
how else did he know? How else would he have known?
I'm
Who's
mad
gonna
I ain't got
know?
a screenshot of that random kid, but I
Who's
think
gonna
it is
know?
him.
Who's gonna know?
So now Mr. Mackey is panicking because he's been using Chat GPT. The boys are panicking because they've been using Chat GPT. And now guess what they have to do again? Go back to the bathroom for this meeting. Now
There
I
he
didn't get a
is.
screenshot of old
He,
kid,
there
but if
he
you
is. You can
see
see his head.
behind Stan, that's the kid that walked in the bathroom and he would pee and then he would leave out and not say anything. And he would just waste their time and they would just stand there waiting to continue the conversation. And I believe that kid is the one that snitched on them. He a straight up itch. Dang. So after this little powwow of who was telling Cartman and his we told y'all not to get women involved. In the first meeting, he said, don't get your girlfriends involved because women ruined slavery.
What is that supposed to mean? No, he said women ruin everything. That's how they ruin slavery or something like.
Yeah, like, and he said it the second time in the second
And
meeting,
he
and
said
Butters
this.
is like,
What is that supposed to mean? I don't know, and I can't use GPT right now to figure it out. Like, so then, now that I'm thinking about it, what if he even got that argument when he was messaging somebody or writing a letter or a paper, and that came out in Chat GPT one day, and he just been using it.
ooh, I think you might be exactly right. Hey, look at
That
this.
might be a thing.
We
That
got the
might be a
minds
thing.
going. We turning up in here. Ooh.
Hey, it's South Park. South Park. Nobody wants to admit it, but South Park might be one of the most thought provoking shows.
It really is.
Like anytime me and my fiance watches it, we always have like a crazy conversation after it because it's like South Park is South Park does things like you said in a satire way that sometimes the stuff will go straight over your head the first time you watch it. So you gotta like
Yeah.
digest it or maybe even go see it, watch it again for a second time, and then you're like, wait a minute. Like even if I was to go back and watch the Bigger Badder movie, I'm pretty sure there's some stuff I didn't pick up
Yeah.
on 10 years ago, you know.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it
And
now.
because of all the fart jokes and all the immature stuff that goes on, I think that's
First
how
of
they
all,
was able to keep things going so long because
everything that happened in that movie, they would have gotten canceled for today. I promise you, from beginning
absolutely,
to the end.
absolutely. Um, going back to that scene where Mr. Mackey came in, I meant to mention this. He also informed them that, which prompted the meeting, by the way, that there are inspectors, GPT detectors coming. And that's why everybody's scared and afraid to use it because they don't want to get caught using the Chat GPT.
And then
So
Mr. Garrison is using it at this point too.
That's right. So now he's worried too.
Mm-hmm.
So right after the um the bathroom meeting, what happens after that?
Bathroom meeting.
The bathroom meeting.
Mr. Garrison goes into Mr. Mackey's office and he's all like, trying to plead his case of, well, not plead his case, but like say the reasons why it's okay to use ChatGPT because Mr. Garrison doesn't want to get busted, right? Because
No.
he's using it right now to grade these kids' papers. So
I
he's
think he
saying
was like,
things
"You
like,
gotta trust the kids" or something like that.
yeah, we gotta trust these kids. What are people afraid of? Are they afraid of AI taking jobs? Are people afraid of AI writing scripts in Hollywood? Yeah, because that's exactly what's happening.
Right. Also, that also brings up the fact that we just had the writer strike
Mm-hmm.
and the actor strike,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that was dealing with Chat GPT
Mm-hmm.
and them taking pay cuts and using them instead of using the actors because the actors not getting
Exactly.
any money for real. Like they're
Exactly.
not being paid the way they were supposed to be being paid, and then you're gonna bring in AI and other types of AI, and we'll talk about it on a later date.
Wait a
To
minute. Completely off topic, and I'm so mad I did not think about this. So everybody's not getting paid what they're worth in America these days?
yes, do
Mm,
you know how many strikes there have been?
too
There
many.
almost every industry has
They
went on strike.
they have been.
The actors, the writers, the direct not the directors, the actors, the writers,
Teachers. I
the
think I saw
teachers,
like something
the
about somebody's health
the auto
something.
the auto industry,
Auto industry, yes.
the
Yes.
train workers went on strike not too long ago.
Athletes.
Starbucks. So yeah,
We don't
nobody's
talk about
getting what they
Starbucks.
worth around here.
We don't talk about Starbucks.
I know, but we can talk about the workers. The Starbucks
Yes,
workers
the workers. Yes, the
built
workers.
a union, and the Starbucks CEOs and all them was trying to stop them,
That's
but they still
wild.
succeeded to unionizing anyway. Which I am pro union. I go on record and
Same.
say it.
Same. Same.
And also in the right circumstances, if you at home and I don't know, you and your coworkers are out together or something, and you guys just so happen to have a conversations about say, I don't know, your salary and how much one of you getting paid and the other one's getting paid. I don't see nothing wrong with that
I don't see
either.
nothing wrong with that either.
Not at all.
Talk to talk to your colleagues and your coworkers about y'all salary because 1 plus 1 is supposed to equal 2.
Absolutely.
And it's
Mr.
so
Garrison.
crazy because this is really happening in the real world where AI is really actually taking people's jobs. I'm pretty sure, especially in the tech industry, it's probably definitely taking people's jobs thanks to the algorithm, um, predictive text, things like that.
Yep.
Uh, there were people that were in these positions at one point in time, and then now there's just no more. Sorry.
And it's sad because I feel like AI taking these jobs. There's no human touch in some of these places, and AI has not made it to the level where these humans should be replaced. There's no
Hmm.
compassion, there's no love
Until
for
there's
it.
no soul.
Yeah.
That's what we're headed to, though.
All right. So
Eh,
oh shoeless chat GPT instructor is here. I was thinking when they said
what did you
it's
just call him?
I said the shoeless
Now he's
what
not
did
an
I?
instructor.
I
Say
said
that again.
instructor. I'm sorry. Enter the shoeless chat GPT investigator, the detector. I thought he was gonna be a bunch of people in suits, but no, it's just him, his bird, Shadow Bane, and a
Shadow
spider in a
Bay.
cage. Which, while we was re-watching this episode together before we start recording this, Novacaine realized that Shadow Bane is really close to Shadow Bane, and if you're in the tech world, that is just kind of hilarious within itself.
That's just too much right there for me.
It's two on the nose.
It's two on the nose. It's two on the nose for me.
So after Shadow Bane detects its first possible GPT user, um, we eventually get down to him actually finding someone, and it turns out that the person he found was Wendy. So now,
Aw.
so now on in the classroom, Stan and Mr. Garrison are still talking. Mr. Mackey's running down the hallway, like, "Yo, my man's done found somebody cheating and got him locked in the library."
Got him
So now
locked in.
everybody's
Got them locked in the library.
so now this crazy dude with no shoes and no hair, team half bald guy, um, and his Falcon Shadowbane has Wendy cornered. Now this is when Wendy started the Wendy we know and love from the series past shows up here because he's like, "It's in your phone. We detected that you have been using Chat GPT." And Wendy's like, "No, I haven't." And he said, "Admit it, you've been cheating with Chat GPT." Now, Wendy, again, smartest girl in the school, is like, "Nah, bro, that ain't me. You got the wrong cat."
I ain't got to cheat.
No. Now, if you was one of these other kids, if you was like Baby or something, maybe, but you talking to Wendy Chesterburger, all right? What I got to cheat for? So at this point, Stan realizes
He messed up.
that he messed up and he got to save his girl, his boo thing.
I think this is the most ironic part of the whole episode.
Can we say like the most meta, maybe? Definitely
Most
meta.
meta? Yes.
Yes, it's definitely
Yes.
meta.
Yes.
So right then, Stan makes a decision. What is he gonna do? He runs out to school. He's like, I don't know what to do. And this is not Stan's role. Stan always has an answer. So at this point, Stan is like, I really don't have a way out of this. What should I do? Chat GPT.
Write a story that takes place in South Park where a boy named Stan. And he wrote
Basically,
the whole, he literally wrote like from the beginning of the episode to at the point where they are now.
he did. Because that thing, once upon a time, was a boy named Stan who lived in South Park. Stan loved his girlfriend very much, which is debatable right now, sir. And maybe
Yeah,
because
it's
he's so
very
young, he's
debatable.
naive, but still,
It's debatable.
I don't even think he was with Wendy in the future, even on the future episodes,
I gotta
the
see. I
little
gotta
future
watch this.
specials. I got to go rewatch them. It's been a while.
I got. Oh, excuse me.
So
God. It's not
eventually, here
that
Stan types in the entire, like you said, the entirety of the episode, and then we start going into a bit of the story. He busts through the school. He's like, I got something to say. It was me that was cheating, and
Oh,
you should understand that it was me that was cheating. And I'm here to say, basically, I'm here to say Wendy. And then he goes on a spiel, right? What did he say in that spiel right before they free Wendy about corporatism and all that?
yes, they were saying, and Stan went in on this part. He was saying how giant tech companies are using ChatGPT and programs like it to monetize, package, and push it out as fast as they could get ahead. OpenAI AI is so powerful that it has to be something that everyone use, control, and contribute to. Or these giant corporations will use them for a unfair advantage. So Stan is like, everybody should use it because if everyone is using it, no one will have an unfair advantage.
Facts. But
No
even
one
if
will be
everybody, I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
no one be left blah. No one will be left behind. No one will be left behind. No one will be like on the outside or be ahead of anybody when it comes to speaking with each other, making these job applications, writing scripts, whatever it is. And I'm here. I stand with Stan
Oh,
on that part.
we stand.
Yes, we
We
stand.
stand. We stand. That should be like a whole thing on South Park. Y'all hit us up so we can get some writers credit for Novacaine for
Please,
that one.
please.
Oh,
Hashtag. I stand with Stan.
hashtag stand for Stan.
Stan.
Um, I feel like if South Park was like the at the beginning and Twitter was a thing, oh man, the way we would been talking about this stuff, live tweeting it as it was going on, that definitely probably would have been a hashtag.
That would have been it. That would have been
But
it.
also, to piggyback up on what you said, we should
But
also
wait,
make sure that we use it responsibly as well.
And that part of the episode was also made by ChatGPT. So when he typed it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was ChatGPT's response. That wasn't technically Stan's response. That was ChatGPT's response of how the big tech companies will use it for an unfair advantage.
Which is crazy, and which is also why South Park is so meta that when they went in and we realized it was South Park, that his response was also meta. That's how powerful the show is right there.
Boom.
So let's talk about how this thing ended. So basically, Stan wins.
Look at
That's
Clyde.
basically it. And then Cloud walks up to him and says, "How did
How
you
you-
do this? Like, I don't understand how you kept your girl, told her you was lying to her this entire time with no issues." And then my boy Kyle leaned over with the hand up again, was like, "Chat GPT, dude."
Stan, not Kyle.
I said Kyle, didn't I? And
Mm.
then Stan lifted his hand up and said, "Chat GPT, dude." And then
But wait, when he was talking to Wendy, he was going to talk about some dag or a thumbs up is better than a soulless response. A human thumbs up is better than a soulless response from an
can we ponder on that? Is he right though? Like, was he right?
No,
I
he's
feel
not.
like if
I
Stan
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
if Stan had have been and Clyde, if they both had actually been reading the text and then just asking for a little help for a little bit to learn how to respond properly, then maybe it's fine. But they were just whatever that thing said, that was their response, and then they was living off of it, trying to reap the benefits of a soulless AI. And what one thing consumers and people everywhere hate is soulless AI getting benefits and people reaping the benefits from said soulless AI. Remember the art AI thing? People were mad for months
Yeah.
because companies are using it now.
For
Uh,
like marketing.
marketing, WWE 2K just did it with one of their 40 years of WrestleMania posters, and you can see that Stone Cold is at the top, but he only has four fingers. Like nobody went back and fixed that. Like AI
That's
can't do
the
hands.
that's the part that be tripping you out. The hands.
Yeah, like AI can't do hands. Why y'all didn't go back and fix that? Or when Marvel did the Nick Fury show, Inhumans, or not Inhumans. Ooh, boy, that was a terrible show. I don't even know why that's on my brain. What was the
Invasion.
Samuel L.
Secret
Jackson show?
invasion.
That one. Um, they did the intro in AI as well, and that was an issue for everybody.
Oh, that's interesting. I
Yeah.
think it's an
So
issue for everyone because they didn't hire a human to do it. Like the intro
yeah,
isn't a bad intro,
no,
but
it's
I think
not.
it's because they didn't hire a human to do it. But
Yeah.
we have become a society where I think a lot of people don't want to work too hard anymore. Like we want to enjoy this lifetime. They don't want to work 70 years straight and die, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm here for AI in small doses. Like it's a slippery slope for me. Like simple things like helping with taxes,
Yeah.
what I might need to do to help with my credit score, or how I should treat other people, or things like that, maybe. But to fully take someone out of their position and put AI there instead, ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Also, I've seen in some religious sector, it's a cat on you on Facebook I follow. He was using the I want to say it's the Instagram or the Snapchat AI bot, and he was asking about God and Jesus, and it was like, what do you want to know about them for? They don't exist. Like I'm here. Like it was mad creepy, and that's the fear because people want to use these chat bots to help with mental issues and therapy and all that, and
But they can't handle that type of thing yet.
it can't because some of these chat bots were actually, I think, was telling people to take themselves out.
Yes.
So it's like, yo, it's a real danger. And I guess the question is, should we still be worried about chatbots?
Yes.
Absolutely, we should.
Yes. I'm not
Absolutely,
here
we
for the
should.
chatbots. I'm not here for the
No,
chatbots at
I'm
all.
not either.
I'm really not. I remember when Snapchat had introduced that AI generated like what is called assistant or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was telling people some wild things. I remember seeing it. It was just so wild. And I'm just like, bro, chill out. Like
For real.
but it kind of makes sense though, right? Because humanity when we first started, we weren't as intelligent as we are now, right?
Facts.
So just like if this is AI, artificial intelligence, now I'm not understand. If this is artificial intelligence trying to basically replicate a human brain, and everyone right now, everybody is just talking about how much pain and suffering they're in. What makes people think that the AI wouldn't start off in a pain and suffering phase
That's a great
first?
question because it is taken from the internet, and the internet is
It-
totally known for all its substance and goodwill and great positive stories.
Think about, okay, we only use everyday people like you and I, we only use like what, 5% of the internet for real?
Yeah.
AI is taken from the entire internet.
Which also probably includes the dark web.
It does include the dark web. That's exactly what it's doing. It includes the dark web. When predictive text first started, it was trash. Now it's starting to actually, try to figure out exactly which sentences we're going with. Sometimes when you hit that middle button, those sentences actually make sense.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
remember
it
there
is.
was a point. I remember a point in time we would do those middle button challenges or whatever. Everybody had some insane sentence that never made sense. You do it today, so much better.
That's because we were training
We were
our predictive
training.
text.
We were training the program, just like AI. AI when it came out, well, it's been out for a long time, but when they started playing around with it, it was trash. It's not great right now. Give it
No.
another 5 to 10 years.
Do you know how much power it would take for it takes a lot of power for the human brain to process the things it does. So the amount of power that it would probably need to actually clearly process what it's processing, we're close. We're extremely dangerously close, but
Too close.
I I still think we need like another
Give it another
another
five to
30
ten years.
days at this point.
Give it 5 to 10 years, and it's going to be extremely different. You seen
I
that
don't know.
movie?
Technology been moving really quickly here lately.
So less than five. It's 2024 now. I'm gonna give it until 2030.
Yeah, 2030, we all probably need to start praying and
We need to be
certain
praying now.
things.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm
But
saying we all.
2030,
I'm just saying, like we all need to start praying and stuff and getting
I'm
ourselves
calling
in
it.
shape and stuff because
I'm
Terminator on
calling
the
it.
way, buddy.
I'm calling it. 2030, robot apocalypse.
Terminator on the way. Terminator on the
I'm
way.
calling it. I'm
I
calling
think
it.
that's a good. I think that's a good place where we can end the episode, though. Go ahead. Closing thought.
I, you know how these restaurants have these robot waiters?
Oh yeah.
Have you been inside of a McDonald's or anything like that where you just, it's going
Yep.
to be a point in time where McDonald's is going to just guess your order.
Oh, because they're gonna fill your phone when you walk in. It's already like that. Amazon already got that.
Amazon Fresh got that. Amazon
Yep.
Fresh got that. They could just, you don't even have to open your phone. It just scans it
And pays. It's so
and
weird.
pays.
It's so weird.
Whatever you
It's so
put in your cart, whatever you take out of it, what?
that is
I
so
feel
wild.
like my privacy is being invaded. All of them little news y'all got on y'all phone, delete it. You might as well, if you want to do all of that and you not getting paid for it, delete it. Get you one of them little digital cameras or one of them disposable kinds if you want to keep doing that lifestyle.
Oh yeah. If you ain't posting on the internet, you might as well not have it in your phone.
Might as well
Absolutely not.
not. Might
All right, class. That's the end of our session for today.
And don't forget to cite your sources.
Do us a favor and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel or wherever you're watching or listening to Society and Pop Culture 101. I am your instructor, BK Spades.
And I'm your instructor, Novacaine. Class is dismissed.